Oh my gosh, this is just, I can't imagine. I hate this, but I still am a little confused why she never took a pregnancy test. Hey y'all, welcome back. Mama Dr. Jones, ObGyn, and Mom24. Today is everybody's favorite time of the month, much better than that other time of the month, where we review TLC's famously entertaining show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, and run it with educational commentary. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 700,000 subscribers by the time I hit my 2-year anniversary of uploading ObGyn content on this channel, which is in January, so I'd love it if you could help me out, but only if you want to be subscribed. If you don't want to be subscribed, you just want to watch this video, that's fine too. This video is also sponsored by Storyworth, and we will hear more about them in a minute.
23-year-old Brianna enjoyed a summer fling before heading off to art school to pursue her dreams.
It wasn't a very serious relationship because it was off and on so much. It was just one of those that we were both looking to fizzle out and then come fall. I started having some back pain, but I never made anything of it because I am sitting at an easel or hunched over. I had a period in July and in August, but I don't believe in September I did. Right around October, I started having a lot of heartburn. There was fluttering in the stomach. I figured it was just the gas.
Okay, so we're starting this one out full speed. It sounds like she had a fling in the summer. She probably got pregnant sometime in July. By September, she was having heartburn, and later on, then she was having nausea and flutters in her stomach. So if I were her, I would be taking a pregnancy test at this point. So I'll be interested to see how the rest of the story goes.
November, we started putting plans together for Thanksgiving. See friends I haven't seen, so we made arrangements for all of us to meet in Vegas. We were walking around in swimsuits, and nobody even said anything about my weight.
It's not like she got a huge belly, anything like that.
She phrased that really interestingly. Nobody even said anything about my weight. I mean, of course it's nice that her friends accept her how she is, and nobody should be commenting on her weight, but that kind of, to me, sounds a little bit like she knew something was going on. I don't know. I don't usually get that vibe from these. I usually spend a lot of time in these going, see, this is exactly how this happens. But she's missing her period. She's symptomatic. And now she's saying nobody said anything about my weight, not I didn't gain weight or I wasn't, showing. I still would like to know if she's taken a pregnancy test at this point.
January 13th, I woke up and had stomach pains. It just felt like I had cramps. And I was expecting period to come.
Brianna doesn't mention feeling sick to her parents as they leave for work.
The cramps didn't stand out because I'm prone to severe cramps.
It's not uncommon for people who have painful periods to have kind of cramps that they don't associate with labor at the very beginning because they're used to having these painful period type pains. But I do want to point out that she's quite a bit earlier. If she got pregnant in the summer, she's maybe only 25, 26 weeks at this point, best guess. And I think that if she's having cramps right now, that's a little concerning. It sounds like they're leading into a labor story right now. So I am a little bit concerned that right now we're pointing out a premature labor story.
As the day progressed, it did get more painful. It just felt like I had to go to the bathroom, that I was just blocked up. I had to get up and try and go to the bathroom, and then moving is when it hurt. Around 3:34, the pain was bothering me so much.
I think she meant 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning, but I first processed that as 3:34 a.m. And I was thinking, wow, that must have been really severe pain if you looked over at the clock and distinctly remember that. But I don't think she meant 3:34.
By the time Brianna's parents and sister Megan come home from work, she's been in pain for almost 9 hours.
I kept trying to go to the bathroom and nothing was working. It just feels like an urge. It feels like you have to go to the bathroom.
That is the natural urge to push that she is experiencing.
And it's an urge to push. I do feel like it's a constipation, so you try and lean forward more, thinking if you move, something's gonna help your stomach. So I was getting out of breath, and I gave one solid push. Once I felt something actually come out, it's that human curiosity, and you're like, everybody has to look.
But nothing can prepare Brianna for what she sees in the toilet looking back at her.
Why did they phrase it like that? What she sees in the toilet looking back at her? My God, she just birthed a child. Why? I hate that phrasing.
True or false? Sperm can fertilize an egg 3 days after intercourse. The answer when we return.
Finding a meaningful gift for friends and family has felt really difficult this year, especially with most of us not having the luxury to get together with our family for the holidays. Storyworth is making it super easy to give a meaningful and engaging gift to your friends or family. When I was growing up, my aunt was like a grandmother to me. We would spend extravagant Halloween parties at her house and fun weekends with my cousin, but now she lives on the East Coast and I hardly ever get to see her. I want her to be able to tell these stories of her life to my kids and for them to remember those things as they get older. Storyworth sends a weekly email prompt with questions or story prompts like, what's the riskiest thing you've ever done? Or what are the top 3 most exciting things that have ever happened in your life? And they fill those out by email. They send it back to you and at the end of a year, compile it into a keepsake book to treasure forever. I wish something had been around like this for me to give to my grandparents when I was little so that I could cherish their stories now and share them with my kids who never got to meet them. If you'd like to try out Storyworth and support my channel in the process, they're giving you $10 off your first order if you use my link in the description. Now, let's get back to the video.
Sperm can fertilize an egg 3 days after intercourse. The answer? True. A single sperm can potentially fertilize an egg up to 72 hours after intercourse.
So actually, it is maybe even a little bit longer than that. We know that sperm, once they exit their home and enter the uterus and fallopian tubes, can stay there for maybe even up to 5 days. Sperm are like cockroaches. They don't die. And this is why you have such a long fertile window. The fertile window for an ovum after ovulation is only about 24 hours max.
I was in complete shock.
Oh my God!
Knowing Brianna needs help, her mother screams for Megan to call 911.
We had absolutely no thought process. Every possible question I think I was going through and just trying to figure out how this just happened.
Can you imagine? Okay, first off, her mom came in thinking she was dying, and then she just thought, oh my gosh, I'm severely constipated and now I'm feeling relief. And then turn around and there is a baby in the toilet. And then on top of that, now your sister and your dad are just swarming you as well. Like, oh my gosh, this is just, I can't imagine. That would be, I hate this, but I still am a little confused why she never took a pregnancy test. I know I don't usually say that because most of these people do, and most of them if they don't have a good reason not to, but I'm just really confused why she had all of these symptoms and never took a pregnancy test.
My mom was screaming to my sister to get towels and string to tie off the cord.
If you find a baby in the toilet, the baby needs to be removed immediately, dried and stimulated, and someone needs to call 911.
Excellent advice. I think all of you probably could deduce that on your own. But I just imagine this doctor being like, yeah, sure, I'll come be interviewed for your show, TLC. And they're like, okay, first question. What would you tell someone if they found a baby in a toilet? No context. We're not going to give you the rest of the story. Just what should they do? The doctor's like, let me get this together. Okay. If you find a baby in a toilet, it should be removed and dried off and wrapped in a blanket, and somebody should be told to call 911. How was that? Was that a good answer? Because I'm really not following, like, do people find babies in toilets a lot, or what a stupid thing to say. Anyway, she was just answering the question she was asked, but I know all of you know to do that. So I want to add in, if you have a baby in an unexpected situation or somebody around you does, it is not an emergency to clamp and cut the cord. You can leave baby attached, get it wrapped in a blanket, warm, skin to skin, close to mom, and call someone who can help. You don't have to find something to clamp and cut the cord. There's nothing wrong with the baby staying attached longer. And in fact, this is probably better than trying to cut the cord with things that really shouldn't be used to clamp and cut cords in the first place. So don't feel like you have to do that. Just get baby skin to skin, warm, close to mom, stimulated, try to get them crying, and definitely call for help.
I got rushed to the hospital. So much turmoil and nervousness of what just happened and is he healthy?
Brianna's newborn is quickly admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit.
I was hoping.
I want to know how many weeks she was. How big was this baby? Because by my calculation, she shouldn't be, she's definitely under 30 weeks. I mean, just judging by the timeline they gave us.
I did feel guilt because I had no idea. So he had none of the vitamins or the prenatal care.
It's important that women get good prenatal care so that problems in the mom or the baby can be diagnosed and treated appropriately.
It is important to get prenatal care. We think that this helps improve outcomes in pregnancies. That being said, everybody knows that. Everybody knows prenatal care is important. And I think more important discussion in these shows in this topic is we do the best we can with the information that we have. If you didn't know you were pregnant, then you can't get prenatal care. So you can't carry that guilt. You just have to let it go. If your period is missing, or if you're having weird symptoms, or even if your period is just doing something different than it usually does, just take a pregnancy test. Take a pregnancy test. They're cheap at the dollar store. The same ones that you get at the dollar store are just as good as the ones that you would pee on in my office. So take a pregnancy test and just check.
Adding to Brianna's escalating fear, doctors estimate the newborn is a full 2.5 months premature.
Well, he was tiny. He only weighed 2.5 pounds or 15 inches. He did have jaundice, and his lungs weren't developed.
Yeah, so he's probably around 29, 30 weeks based on what they just said and his weight being 2.5 pounds. Babies who are born at 28 to 30 weeks generally do well, but they often have hard times with getting their temperature regulated, so that's why they have to stay kind of in those incubator things. And their most common problem that they have is trouble with breathing. Most of the time they're going to need help with breathing, like having either supplemental oxygen or what we call CPAP, which is controlled positive airway pressure, which is kind of more forceful oxygenation, or even being intubated for a period of time. It just depends on how well developed they are at that gestational age and how well they're doing on the outside. They often will have trouble with some hearing and some vision problems, and it can also lead to long-term problems with those things as well. So those are things that you want to watch for in a premature baby when they get discharged.
Because over the summer, I was drinking more. We were going out often.
It's important that women do not drink alcohol during pregnancy because it can lead to fetal alcohol syndrome, which is one of the leading causes of mental retardation in children.
These doctors sound so judgmental in this video, but again, I think they're being given these questions to answer on camera and they don't know the story. I hope that no one would actually be taking care of this patient clinically and she's saying, I'm just worried about my baby because I was drinking and all of this stuff. And they say, well, it's important not to drink a pregnancy. Like, we all know that also. I think this is edited and cut in that way. But again, we do the best we can with the information that we have. And if you didn't know you were pregnant, then I don't know. I just hate like adding to that guilt. What can you do about it now? It's done, and we just have to hope that everything is okay.
Brianna names her baby James and wrestles with an emotional decision.
It was really stressful. I was considering adoption at that point in time because I was 23, unemployed. I had no maternal instinct.
To have a kid that age in your early 20s, that's tough.
I was hoping that if he went into adoption, that he would go into a family that was ready, because I was financially, emotionally, mentally not in that position to try and raise a child.
I am really, really glad they left that part of this video in. It is extremely rare that in these videos they have the person who gave birth candidly discussing the thought process that they went through about whether or not they should put the baby up for adoption. And I don't know if she's going to choose adoption or not, but I think it's extremely important to bring notice to the fact that this is something that people think about. People think about it during pregnancy. People think about it at birth, especially if they had an unknown pregnancy, and it's okay. Whether or not she ends up putting this baby up for adoption or not, I think it's extremely important that she's validated in her ability to discuss the fact that she thought about it, because it doesn't make you a bad person. You're trying to decide the best thing for the baby you just gave birth to, and that takes time. So often these videos go straight into, I didn't know I was pregnant, I didn't want babies, but oh my gosh, I loved the baby immediately. And everybody doesn't feel like that, and that's okay.
The time I spent with him at the hospital and held him, that realization of, I don't want to walk away from this, was sinking in.
That just shows me like her character right there. I had a child that I didn't know I was carrying. Time to become a mother.
I disagree. I think that is a great decision for her, and she made the best decision for her. You know, I think he's very well-meaning, and he sounds like he was a very supportive friend through all of this, but I think that shows that she gave it time, processed her emotions, and decided what was best for her, not that her character was any better or worse than somebody who ended up giving their child up for adoption, because that is a selfless gift that you can give to a child as well. It's not, I don't know, I didn't like that, but. sorry. I think you seem like a nice person. Let's not say things like that.
Brianna thinks James was conceived the previous June.
Unfortunately, we were not using any birth control. We were stupid. I didn't question back pain. I didn't question the heartburn or just the stress of moving.
Brianna was even seen in a bikini less than 2 months before giving birth.
There was no bump, nothing out of the ordinary.
Sometimes when you move or you go through a stressful event, it can affect the way you feel, and it can even affect your periods. People sometimes miss periods due to stress. However, my driving home point that I always want you to hear is, if your periods change, if you start having unusual symptoms, take a pregnancy test. Take a pregnancy test. That would have prevented her from being in the situation where she didn't know this was going to happen, and maybe even helped her get some help prior to the baby being born. So I don't want to shame her. Again, we do the best we can with the information we have. But I do want anybody listening to this to know it's okay to take a pregnancy test and it be negative. It's okay. It's okay to take one, even if you just think maybe there's a chance and you want to be sure. Let's normalize that. Normalize taking pregnancy tests if you need to.
6 years later, James has added to Brianna's life in ways she could never dream of.
I couldn't imagine life if he wasn't here. He's done nothing but make my life 10 times better.
My friend is a wonderful mother, and James is a wonderful child. As weird of a story as it is, it couldn't have turned out any better.
What a sweet story. I am so glad that her and baby James had a good outcome. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Help me meet that goal of 700,000 before my 2-year anniversary of posting OBGYN content on this channel in January. Please check out our sponsor Storyworth and get a wonderful holiday gift for a family member or friend in your life. Be kind to yourself, to each other, to me. In the comments, be kind, and I will see you next time.